You are tuned in to The Perspective on Cable 95.
Hello and welcome to The Perspective. My name is Jennifer.
I'm Crystal.
And I'm Bernie. The Perspective is a show that discusses issues that concern Brenau students on a campus, local, and national level. We give the Brenau community somewhere to go to express themselves about things that concern them.
We are doing things differently this season. We have added a fashion corner as well as a health corner to keep you updated on the latest news and trends. All right, let's get to those hot topics. Let's talk about those Grammys, ladies. First, we're going to go with the worst dressed, Nicki Minaj.
Oh my goodness.
What was she thinking?
Can you say Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde?
Gone crazy.
Yes.
It was horrible. And then it's like she tried to clash some sort of leopard print with it.
She could have done a commercial for a Q-tip. She could have been a Q. Did you see the wig? It was very, it was like a spear.
Mm-hmm.
And,
like a weapon.
And then there's a dot at the top. I just don't understand. Like, what was she doing?
I'm not sure. I believe, like, this year, it was like everyone wanted to be outrageous at the Grammys. Like, who's going to be the most outrageous? Who's going to be the Lady Gaga? You know, it was like, it was just crazy all around.
Well, my worst was Ricky Martin, and I love Ricky Martin. I'm not afraid to admit that. But what was he wearing with the jacket and then the pants that were like sort of shiny but not shiny, and the boots? It just all didn't go together. And I mean, I'm all about the skinny tie and the jacket, but if he had done like a black skinny jeans, and then maybe we could have been okay with the boots. But no, he tried to mix too many fashions together.
And CeeLo, Mr. Crazy Big Bird. I have
Caribbean Festival walking, that's what he was.
Yes, he was my worst dressed because he was just hard to look at. There were too many colors, too many bright colors, and that armor he had on, it looked homemade, like someone made that.
Like a costume party for the crazy.
Right, like paper mache, and somebody painted over it.
It was just not for the Grammys.
What's interesting is, for Nicki Minaj, I don't like what she was wearing, even though I still think she was part of the worst dress list. But CeeLo, it kind of works with his whole persona. I mean, it's one of those outfits where it's like you can't take your eyes off of it. Like, you want to say it's bad, but at the same time, you just like, oh, it's festive. It makes me happy a little bit.
It's just like the Grammys is mostly supposed to be like a, I don't know, a toned down, professional.
Right, it's supposed to be elegant. Because
it's an award show.
Yeah,
I think you can go all out, but it just depends on how you go all out.
Exactly.
So what about best dress? Who did you guys think for that one?
Well, Jennifer Hudson. I love Jennifer Hudson. That's who I chose. And she's lost weight. She looks good. It was classy, yet sexy. I loved it. I thought she looked great.
Yes, and all that weight she lost. She's ready for a new album. She looked amazing.
And the hair was on point as well.
Well, I loved that the dress was a little shorter in the front and then longer at the back. It has that kind of like waterfall effect, and then it goes with her because it makes her look actually taller. So I definitely like that, like kind of like statuesque.
Right. What about Lady Antebellum?
Yeah, the guys from Lady Antebellum. The woman looked okay too.
Yeah.
They were, I don't know, I just thought they were dressed nicely. One had a bow tie, the other one had like a sleek tie, a little skinny tie. I just thought they looked nice. Like, they kind of presented what I want to see at the Grammys. Like, I understand everyone wants to be out there with it, but I like to see elegance, and so I thought they looked great. They looked very handsome, and they're cute, so it works.
Yeah, and what about Janelle Monáe, Bruno Mars, and B.O.B.
together?
Yes, during their performance. They complimented each other well. Like, when artists perform, they often try to outdo one another, and it was very refreshing to see that they all complimented one another. All wore the same colors, but they showed their individual styles.
Well, Janelle actually takes the whole men's suit and kind of caters it to being feminine. I like that she always has her button-up white shirt, like very tailored to her body, and just how she wears the pants and everything. It's very nice.
Right, because it's her look. I can't see her doing anything else or try to dress really feminine. It's just it's her.
It's just like with Lady Gaga, that's her craziness. That's how she dresses.
Right.
So, and that's why I like Janelle Monáe. She's just, that's how she always dresses. She always has different variations of it, but it's always the same. So I like that about her. She's consistent.
Right, exactly. But it was nice to see them, you know, come out and perform and compliment each other well, because everyone else was just out there. They were avant-garde, and especially Lady Gaga with the whole egg situation.
As usual last year, with the meat on her. It's just like always doing something.
Always doing something crazy.
Every award show's got to be crazy.
But we can all say the big Grammys were very interesting to watch as far as the fashions and the outfits.
And the performances. What do you guys think of those?
Oh my goodness, Jennifer Hudson, the opener, she did an awesome
Still has a
job.
booming voice.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Still.
Yes, an awesome job.
Well, as far as the categories go, I'm happy that Esmeralda Spalding won Best New Artist.
Right, and that was unexpected. No one really expected her to really win, exactly, because she was up against so many, you know, seasoned artists, talented artists.
Well, I think for her, she's more of the lesser known. We know Drake, we know Justin Bieber,
Right.
but for a lot of people that, like me, listen to NPR, National Public Radio, we're familiar with Esmeralda Spalding because she has like a jazz kind of feel, and she takes all of her music from different cultures. Like her background's Latin, and she's also Egyptian and all these other things, and she incorporates it into her music. And I'm happy to see that someone that's not on MTV all the time is actually winning an award for quality work.
Yeah, it seemed like that was a lot of that this year at the Grammys. Like, one of my favorite bands, Arcade Fire, and they've been around for a little while, but they've never gotten like super recognition. They won Best Album for this year, and I thought that was really surprising because a lot of people I know are like, "Who's Arcade Fire?" And I'm like, "Well, they're not very known," but this year it seemed like the underdogs were coming up, and so I was really happy with the Grammys. Overall, it was a very entertaining show.
And very much so.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
Eminem even did a good job. He won lots of Grammys.
Yes, he did.
Whoever thought the guy from 8 Mile would be up there?
Did you see his emblem he wore? It was his Alcoholics Anonymous emblem.
Yes.
So
Wow.
That was the Grammys.
So what about this Egypt situation, you guys?
This is depressing to me. It's just, it's scary. It's honestly really scary.
It is.
It's scary to me.
Because it's like the domino effect. There's so many countries now are protesting, and it's just so much civil unrest going on, especially in the Middle East and in Northern Africa right now.
And it could totally spread to America if it wanted to. That's the scary part about it, I think, for me, is that it's unraveling. It's just unraveling to all the other countries, spreading.
Yeah, especially with this whole Sudan, Southern Sudan wanting to secede from Northern Sudan, and the rebel attacks, and so many lives has been lost.
200 people, women, children, babies, innocent lives lost for nothing. All they want to do is be independent. And July 6th, it's either July 6th or 9th, they're supposed to succeed and become the newest independent state in the world. So that should be cool.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the whole situation unravel. But what do you guys think about President Obama and his comments towards the whole Egypt thing and the civil unrest now? How do you guys feel about that?
I don't know. He said that he felt like they were headed in the right direction. But I just wanted to hear him say that, yeah, they're headed in the right direction, but I don't think they went about it the right way. It seemed like he was saying that it was all right. All the writing.
Condoning violence.
Yeah,
I don't think that.
Well, Obama, to me, has always tried to be a person of the people and be a voice of the underdog, basically. So in a way, I can see how people would think that, yeah, he's trying to condone all the rioting, but at the same time, you know, when you look at who's having the riots, who's complaining, it's the people that have been oppressed so much more. And so I think in a way it is kind of like, hey, I'm about change. And I mean, he hands down, he cannot say stuff like that because, you know, he's representing America, he's the president, and he can't even do that for America and say, hey, I wish all of Americans would go riot. But I in a way, if he was supporting them, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him for saying like, hey, going out there and trying to incite change, like, because it did start out peaceful. They didn't start out trying to kill anyone or even violent by any means. They did it the right way, but then of course it turned into something else.
That always seems to happen. It seems to escalate out of control.
Right.
But I think he had good intentions about what he said. It's just sometimes you say things the wrong way and people misinterpret it, and that's what happens. But
and you know, that's a good point, because when they were trying to get the president out of power, he was saying things, and that was being
slurred, just totally different from what he said. But I think that sometimes people do have to be careful what they say because it can come off differently. But I think what he meant overall was that everyone's trying to have more freedom, more democracy, and so. But yeah, I don't know. It's just democracy's not for everyone.
Yeah, at the same time, not every country is meant to have a democracy. Just because of the cultural differences in culture, things like that, not everyone is a democracy type of country.
Exactly. It's not always going to be like that. Every country can't handle it. It's
Yes.
just the way it
Because
is.
you'll see a lot more of civil unrest going on.
But we all want freedom, so everybody needs to have some sort of freedom.
Right, and that's the all common ground that the world stands on. We want some type of freedom. We want to be able to say what we want to say, do what we want to do, but not to the extent where we lose so many lives.
Because is it really worth it in the end?
Exactly.
Speaking of civil unrest, what do you guys think about Silvio Berlusconi, the Italian prime minister, and his alleged underage sex scandal?
Yeah, the Italians are really upset about that right now.
Yes.
They're rioting and protesting because that's a big deal. Apparently, he paid for sex with a 17-year-old girl. So, well, when she was 17, she's now 18.
Yeah, and it's alleged, and what kind of got everybody suspicious was that she was booked on theft, and so then he was, paying her money, trying to get her out of situations. And if you watch your Law and Order, you know that's how it starts. I was just watching an episode about this. But yeah, what's interesting is that this doesn't even faze him. He doesn't even think that April 6th, the judge in Italy, I believe, is Cristina Di Cinzo. She's supposed to be over the trial and deciding what's going to happen to him. He's not even worried about this.
Yeah.
He's just thinking it's just another thing. And apparently this isn't the first time he's been alleged with misconduct with women.
He has many allegations. This is just the first personal allegation that's been pulled out against him. But he has so many things that are going on right now. So he's not fazed by it. He feels like money will buy me out of this. I'll be fine.
What I think is interesting is the fact that with the riots, it was protests, and it was just a national protest of women going out in the streets and, actually saying we're going to stand up, no more of this. If we don't stop it, then when? And I just think that it's amazing that as women, they're sticking by another person, because in America, we see, somebody's take Tiger Woods and his mistresses, for example. We're automatically like, she is just horrible. She has one horrible character. In Italy, they're just saying, no, stop. They don't even know if he's guilty or not. And they're just taking a stand and just saying for anything that is on the same level as a man taking advantage of a woman, we're going to protest against this now. And so I think it's amazing how the womanhood there, just standing up, woman up, if you will.
Because here we automatically condemn those women. So.
Stay tuned, because up next is the Fashion Corner with me,